Hello, guys. This is James. Today we're gonna talk still about the method in the Array.prototype. And actually, the common things among those different functions is that they also, all of them can have a callback function. Use the element of array to make the iteration on the function. For each filter, find a map. Okay, let's just first create a simple array. Then we'll just try to use the define a function maybe. It should have at least one parameter here. The parameter just later will really get each of the elements of the array and make the iteration. Okay, so the first thing we will do is to use console log, and then we just use the first one. There's will be 3 output, 1, 2, and 3. Why? Because we have console log of it. Each time we just get one element and then just call the function once. 1, then console log 1. So it print out 1, and then 2, then print out 3. Then we should wonder what's the return value of array dot for each. So maybe we just use console log to see the return. It's undefined. Maybe we just here there's no return value. So what does it mean? It means that no matter if there's a return value here or not, then it will always just return the undefined. Okay. Aside from the most important parameters here, that's refers to each element of ARR array. And we have to know that actually there's some optional parameters we can pass here. The second one is index. And the third one should be refers to the whole array. Okay, so it will be here. We just simply console log if we pass additional parameters here and what's the value. As we can see that 1, 2, 3, as we have, that's the elements of the array. The second thing is about 0, 1, 2. If we notice, that's actually the index of array because automatically array will start from index 0. And then the last one is the array, and they just return the array itself. So it means that, okay, we can really input another 2 additional optional parameters here. And then the second one refers to just the index. And the third one refers to the array itself. Now we're going to talk about a very important parameter, this, which can be attached after the callback function. Here we have to use another parenthesis. Here, the parameter for each. Okay, and so what does this reference to? The this here will be the runtime environment of the callback function. Means that this put here will be the this in the callback function. To test really what's the this in the callback function, we just console log it. Okay, so let's print out what will gonna be the result. Actually, it's just something like this. It's a little bit, vague. Actually, we can put it in the console of Google, of Chrome. Let's see what will happen. Here's the result. Exactly, it really refers to the window. Why? Because here the context is the window. So we just assign the window as this to the callback functions. So every list inside the callback functions just reference to the window. All right, and if we want to change it to other things, maybe we can try to define a function. Okay. Empty function. And then we just say, okay, we want to designate this to function. Let's try to, because in every function it has a length. And let's see if here it will really point at this function too. Okay, let's just type. We can see here it really pointed at the function too. So the conclusion is we really can designate the names inside the callback functions by just using another object work as names to assign the which exactly will point at. Since in JavaScript everything is object, so you can just assign any variables here. I think that's just for each. And then let's go to the next one. And then let's talk about the filter. Filter is a little bit different from the for each. It will just the returning value of for each always are undefined, right? And for filter, it will return another array. And which array it will really return depends on the return value of it. So the return value of this function definitely will be something like a Boolean value. The simplest way we can do it is like we return a p should be, and then let's use filter to really do something. Since it's really a Boolean value, it will be either true or false, and then we can use filter here. All right. First, it will display 1, 2, 3 because we can show log p here. And the second thing, since we have returned a Boolean here, so anything will be true will be really included in the new array, the returning value of this one. Since 1 is smaller is equal to 1 and 2, 3 are bigger than 1, so false, true, and true. So new value only just get the true from here, and then we get a new array 2 and 3. If it doesn't return anything here, let's see what will happen. It will return a empty array. Why? Because if we don't return anything, it will just return undefined, undefined, undefined. That's all false. So the returning value of this one will just go directly to an empty value because there's no true value comes out. But if we just always return true, then let's see what will happen. Yeah, exactly. Just copy the original value because every time it will return a true. So it will be a true, true, true array, and then it will just copy all the values from the first one to form the new array as the returning value. Okay. So I think that's more or less about filter. And let's go to the third one. Filter and find is very similar. The find is just to return the first true value. Also, we have to have a return value here. And then if for the first time, the return will be true, a Boolean will return a true, then the find will just return exactly the elements. So how to use it, for instance, here we just do something like this. Still the p bigger than, let's see what the return value of it. Yeah, actually it's very interesting, right? Let's just analyze the logic. The first, it will pass p equals to 1, just output 1, and then return false because 1 equals to 1 is not bigger than 1, so it will return a false. So okay, we have to go to the next iteration. When p equals 2, we print out 2, and then is 2 bigger than 1? Yes, true. Then it will not just call further one. It will return the elements that just to satisfy this condition. So we will even not print 3 out. For instance, if we change the order here, the same logic, because it first will console 1 because of the console log here, and then false. The second iteration, 3, print out 3, and then 3 is already bigger than 1. So it will stop the iteration, and then it will have a return value 3 to be put out because we use cancel here. So that's the trick of the find. And the next one, map is really like filter and find. It will have a return value. False, true, true, exactly. So we can say that really the map depends on the return value of it. If it's, which here we define the Boolean. So it's just have the iteration go through all the elements in the arrays just to return the value based on here, the return. So 1 is not bigger than 1. So it will be false. And then it goes to the next one until the end, until 2. 2 is bigger than 1, so it will return true. And then the returning value of Array.map will be the new array it created. That is a Boolean array, false, true, and true. And let's try something else. If we just don't have any return value, let's see what will happen. Undefined, 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 because return will have the undefined, but it will complete the iteration 3 times. So there will be 3 undefined here. All right, I think that's all for method of like for each filter, find the map. Just remember, for each level returns have any returning value, so always return undefined. Filter, find the map. They return the value. And the filter map return a array, find just return the first match. Then let's go to the next one, reduce. Why I just separated reduce from the rest of the method we mentioned above, because reduce have some differences here. Callback function should have 2 parameters. So we can really just define another function with 2 parameters here. And the reduce should have a return function. Here we use console dot, because we still use the 1, 2, 3 value. I'll just change it. And if you reduce, see what will happen. 6. Why 6? Because here actually what it has done is like this. If we just put the function 3 there, and then and also we have the, so the first step is that it will make a, and then we'll return a 3, and 3 we will give it 2, and then B, we will just, since we get its first 2 elements already, we just go to the third one, B equals, have a return value, then if we have another iteration where B to assign to A, that's the end. So the result, the returning value is a number. Okay, but how about there's another thing in the reduce, we can add an initialize. Let's just call it again, 106. So what happened here? Let's just go there again. So the 100 at this time will be assigned to the initial number of A, and B will not be the second element, it will be the first element. So the result will be 101 to assign to A, and at this time B is not equals to 2, it is 3 is equals to 2. It means that A is 103. Then we will get B. B will be the last finish the 6. So we can see that if we have a, we don't have an initial value, it have a 2 iteration. If we have an initial value, it have 3 iterations here. So that's really the difference is if we have an initial value or not. All right, and also I want to please note that here in the function tree always have a return, value. If it doesn't have any return value, maybe what we get will be undefined. Let's check it out. Undefined, right? Because it really, all A and B, it will really depends on the return value. So because the return value will be again assigned to A, the first parameter. After the 5 Array.prototype method. And in the next video, we'll try to polyfill one of the methods. Thank you for watching. This is James. See you next.